called in to work on this little show about this kid with a tail, and he was trying to find this like princess in Devil's Castle, and the little kid was named Goku, and I played this guy named Yamcha, and this other little measly dude called Igor, and that was the first thing I ever did. I was called in. I was working out in Fort Worth, Texas, because prior to doing any of this Dragon Ball stuff in Texas, many of you might already know this, but the like 68 episodes of Dragon Ball were dubbed in Canada, and I had nothing to do with those. Like, I don't know if you guys knew, like, I'm sure a lot of you know about like the original voice changes that they had, but it was done by the Ocean Group, and it had some amazing actors on it. And then they brought it out to Fort Worth. They were like, all right, we can do it out here. They can do it up there in Canada. We can do it in Texas. Hell yeah. So they brought us in and gave us a really, really hard job of trying to copy these guys like Scott McNeil and Brian Drummond and all these just amazing actors who were on G.I. Joe and Transformers and all these crazy, awesome cartoons and anime. I was like, Vegeta, Piccolo, Yamcha, Mr. Popo, Kami, the Dragon's Raccoon, Jace, Birder, Korin, Gozen Mez, oh god, the Shenron, I've already said that, the Porunga, a bunch of Nameks, and a lot of dying people. I played a lot of roles in Dragon Ball Z, partially because when we started in Fort Worth, there was nobody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that had ever dubbed anime before. It was happening down in Houston, but no one had ever done it. And so, you know, there were only like 15 people on our cast list. So when another big dude came up, I was the only guy that had a deep voice. Like, well, Chris, you get another role. I'm like, okay. On Yu Yu Hakusho, I played this guy named Kuwabara, and he has a sword. Wow. And that was like the first cool part I had on anything that wasn't Dragon Ball Z. That was a really funny part, and yeah, I got the tickle feeling in my finger, and I loved Akina, and it was awesome. Trinity Blood? Yeah, that's a character that I get a lot of credit for playing, even though I really didn't do anything. Like, that's just one of these characters that's really cool, but I didn't have to do a word. Like, all I had to come in was go, clear, affirmative, clear, affirmative, affirmative, clear. And then everyone's like, oh my god, you played Trace, you were amazing. Awesome show called Shin-Chan. I play the narrator. Lesbians! And I play this guy called Yanro, and he's trying to get into school, and he's trying to get into Kaskebe Community College, KKK, and he studies really hard.
Is he the one that asks for hire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm curious.
He's extremely nerdy, and he plays a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and online games. If you ever see Time Crisis 4 anywhere, I play this guy named William Rush, which you might not know the name because it's an arcade game and you don't spend a lot of time like plugging in too much money. But if you ever do, I'm the guy that tells you like when to use your weapons and stuff like that. Use the handgun, use the machine gun for more. And what's awesome is that game is usually in like movie theaters and like big gaming type places, I don't know which, GameWorks, that's what it is. And I love it because it's a pretty loud game, and it's got some sounds that kind of come from up here is where some of the sounds, right near the player, and usually the screen's farther back. It's one of those shooting games. And I love to walk by people and go, wave the gun in the air for extra points. So many people are like, wave it faster. I've never been able to control people in such a way before, I swear. It's over 9,000! The first time anyone showed me that yaoi stuff, I kind of freaked out just a tiny bit. Like, you've got to be kidding me. That is not, because some dude just walked up, just blindsided me. Excuse me, would you please sign this for me? I'm like, absolutely, sure, what's your, whoa, oh my god.
Don't cross the street.
Yeah. It must be really strange for Japanese people when they actually have to have just normal, regular, ordinary sexual relations with their partner. Must be such a downer for them. Oh, must make a baby. Oh, I don't know. I could. Let's see. Oh gosh, I don't know what I would do. Maybe I could. Let's see, then maybe the most popular person in this room right now. Oh my gosh, what a ridiculous voice. It's the only, it's the only role I've ever done in anime where I actually did have to kind of practice it the night before, because we typically don't get the scripts or any materials in advance. We show up, they say, you're this, go. But in the case of Ayame Soma, I asked for the video first because I just couldn't talk that fast. I just couldn't. I always wanted to be the movie trailer guy, and I still do. His voice isn't as low as you think it is. It's just that he does something very unique that other voice actors don't do, and he's the one that's if you ever want to try and copy his voice, what you do. Most people, when they try and do a Don LaFontaine voice, they pitch their voice down in a world, but that's not really it. What he does, when he does something, anything he says, whether it's a vowel or a consonant, has this rumble at the end of the sound, anything he's saying. And it's this weird little rattle you do in your nose. And I couldn't believe it because I saw him doing it live. I'm like, how is it? Next time on Fox. I'm like, Fox. How's that even possible? This is the being awkward on the stage routine that has been passed down the Australian generation. Alex Louis Armstrong only had probably, I think he maybe was on screen for maybe 30 minutes, or maybe said like 30 minutes worth of stuff, maybe, tops, maybe 20. Because most of the time he would just be standing there. In fact, during the middle of the series, towards the end, all he would do is come and go, yes, I'm so proud of you boys. He's sort of like, he became a cow towards the end of the series. Sort of mood. And, but I've noticed in this new Brotherhood series, he talks a lot. He has a lot of stuff, and it's kind of rad. Like there's been tons of scenes already, and he's definitely more of a presence in the boys' lives in this newer version of it, which is turning out really, really, really well. I kind of like it. I was a little scared at first because when I first saw the animation, I was like, maybe they didn't work as hard on it or something, but it's actually really charming. I haven't really met too many people who walk around without their shirt on a lot, but Armstrong must be a really uncomfortable dude to hang out with. And imagine in real life, he doesn't bathe much either. I mean, he battles and then he just sort of stands around. He must have this epic odor.
You wouldn't have sparkles if he had
Yes,
that.
yeah. But obviously they did not use my voice. He didn't even talk. He didn't say a thing. Like, do you know what was a better Dragon Ball Z movie? Matrix Revolutions. It really was. Dragon Ball Z fighting sounds are honestly kind of fun until the scenes where they're just screaming and screaming and screaming. It's like this open. And then you run out of breath and you look up and it's still, your mouth is still like wide open. And they go, sorry, we gotta do that again. How did I feel about playing Ritsu Casanova in Oran? That was a fun role because Caitlin Glass directed that. I did one little thing and we're like, I'm not Casanova! And she'll go, for 5 minutes and I get to take a coffee break. It was fun. It was kind of appropriate. Another one of those guys that appears to not want to have anything to do with anyone else, but secretly just wants to play kick the can. Yeah.
Oh.